Hey everybody, and welcome back to our reviews. The new fall TV season has kicked off, and this is me officially starting everything back up again. So of course I'm really excited about that. I am a little slightly behind. This did actually drop during what's basically a vacation for me. A nice 4 day long vacation for me. So I've been kind of been busy doing other things. But nonetheless, we're kicking things off with our Legends of Tomorrow review for the episode Aruba Con, first episode of season 3. So let's just kind of get right into it. Um, all in all, I thought this episode was okay, but I don't know. I just wasn't quite feeling it. Um, of course, this is the first episode of a new season, so there's a million things they've got to set up, and ultimately, the overall story of this episode is kind of incidental. Somewhat. Anyway, let's kind of get right into it. I do like how they very quickly clear up the sort of cliffhanger that they left us with at the end of last season, and the idea of Rip, forming the Time Bureau, some people who were more in keeping with, his ideal version of how, a replacement to the Time Masters would be, and then putting them in conflict with the Legends. Well, that's quite good. That's quite inspired. The problem here is, well, actually, I can't say it's the problem. Actually, it's the thing that I really do like. One of the things I like best about this episode is that the Time Bureau people are extraordinarily critical of the way the Legends do things. Which, while I love this show, I am often extraordinarily critical of the way the Legends do things because they're often ridiculously reckless. Now, granted, this is not a show that takes the whole altering thing of history super seriously. I mean, they claim to, but they really don't. I mean, people running around using superpowers in various periods in the past and such. You would think that a lot of the things they did would alter history, and the whole bit with, like, for example, Albert Einstein, where they did legitimately alter history. The show just sort of does play it very fast and loose. So honestly, the way that the Time Bureau works, and let's call a spade here, they're basically the Men in Black. Frankly, it does make much more sense that you would want to act like this. You would want people who are very serious, very professional, and are probably not going to have the Legend's favorite flaw of being unable to resist tinkering with history for their own personal benefit. So the Time Bureau basically saying, like, oh, God, those guys really, is not unjustified. Then again, one also has to stop for a moment and think, like, Rip, yes, there's a lot of criticism you can lay at the blame at the feet of the Legends, but they stopped Vandal Savage, they stopped the Legion of Doom, you went and got yourself brainwashed by the Legion of Doom, and oh yeah, they're also your friends, so maybe you should not have your employees and disciples basically look like they want to spit on them whenever they're in their presence. People are flawed, but even flawed people deserve respect. And especially flawed people who, while they have made mistakes, have also fought and sacrificed for the greater good, certainly deserve respect. Which, for all of their flaws, the Legends certainly have done. They have fought and sacrificed and suffered for the greater good. So, yeah, Rip definitely did fall down on the job on that front, at the very least. Now, character-wise, I think Rip is the one that I mainly have the main amount of stuff to say. I really did like that speech that Julius Caesar gives to Sarah. That basically is like, are you just gonna take this? Which it was nicely done. And one thing I will say actually is I really did like the way they used actual history in this episode. That story that Caesar tells Mick about being captured by pirates, being ransomed and then coming back and crucifying them all. That's for real. Like recently, I've been listening to this thing called the History of Rome podcast. It's like this 170 episode podcast thing. I'm somewhere around like episode 145. And it's just this chronological history of the Roman Empire from the very, very beginning of Rome up until the ultimate fall of Rome. I'm like right up to the part that's dealing with like the son of Constantine. And that's a true story. They talked about it in the podcast. It's actually quite interesting. The pirates, basically took Julius Caesar's whole like, yeah, guys, I'm totally gonna come back here and like crucify every last one of you as kind of a joke. It's like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever, man, just get us the money. So nice bit of real history there to the show. Let's see what else. This episode also kind of does one thing that when they do situations like this where we sort of there's been a time jump, we're picking up with all the characters, and they do the whole let's get the band back together again. You have a lot of situations where a lot of the characters are stuck in a really pathetic place, and while of course you want characters to rise up from having been kicked down, and that just makes everything seem heroic. It does also seem a little bit demeaning. And again, this is meant to be something that they're supposed to overcome, but seriously, with all of the connections that she has, Sarah can't, somehow smooth it over, that she could get a whole you've been declared dead thing twice smoothed over, and somehow end up with like a decent paying job somewhere. I mean, why isn't she, could she just be like a fitness instructor or something? I remember she was actually trained by Anthony Ivo in, what was that, like biology? Now, granted, she probably doesn't have like the actual certifications and stuff, but again, with her League of Assassins training and all of this other stuff and all the people she knows, they can't whammy up some like fake paperwork, some phony job references. Seriously. Now, the thing with Ray makes a little bit more sense. I mean, he basically handed control of his company over to his ex-girlfriend and then sort of ran off and, was believed to be legally dead for quite some time. So even if he did show up and say, like, hey, I'm actually alive, it's pretty understandable that the board of his company would probably not be so eager to welcome him back. Is Nate still like a history professor or whatever? Because like, where is he working? And while it was great seeing Wally, what's with that thing where they take down the guys and then steal, powers down? Wally takes off his mask. Well, there's still these bad guys tied up, just a few feet away from them, and they start talking and yakking. And Nate even refers to Wally as Wally within earshot of these criminals. Is no one concerned about their secret identity? I mean, seriously. I mean, it's stuff like this that absolutely drives me nuts. And again, I know I shouldn't take it this seriously, but come on, don't take off your mask and show and like start throwing around your real name inches away from bad guys. Also wasn't too impressed with Nate's moping about Amaya and then like him going out and basically trying to get some cheap knockoff of her as a girlfriend. That was kind of pathetic. And doubly so with the whole plan to like distract the college guys. Like, look, I know like frat guys are like, considered to be quite the gigantic horn dogs, and stereotype or not, there is certainly some truth in all of that. But still, if like you're in a room and suddenly like everybody is reacting to this, I mean, you're also sort of assuming that everybody has this exact same app on their phone. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. This, as much as I love Legends, it sometimes really asks for a little bit too much in terms of suspension of disbelief, which, granted, you have to have a pretty high bar on that if you're going to go for a superhero show. And yet somehow I just never get the feeling that The Flash or Arrow asks this much of me. I just don't. Let's see. Oh yeah, and I like how they did take the time to explain how Caesar could understand English when he showed up in Aruba, but they don't bother to explain how he's able to read a book that is written in English later. Yeah, that's that's lame. That's totally lame. Um, Now I have no idea who this Malice character that they mentioned at the end is. It looks like it might be spelled Mallus, which my Latin is pretty crummy, but I'm pretty sure that means like hammer in Latin or something like that. So I got no idea what's going on there. Let's see, what else, what else, what else? There's something else I wanted to mention. What was it? Well, I went and forgot. Well, now I feel dumb. Uh, oh yeah. Oh, and I do like that we got to see Amaya again at the very end. So that we're not going to completely forget about her, and we're going to see more of her, which is cool. Which is cool. Oh, what did I forget? Dang it. Hmm. Oh yeah. Nice to see Lily again this episode. And I did like that moment where Stein talked about, like, you know what, I initially kind of dragged you into this adventure, and now that you're sort of down and sort of itching to get back in, well, how could I not go along and support you? That was a nice moment. That really did show a good, strong moment between him and Jax. And, well, I think we're going to call it here. Anyway, guys, as always, please comment, rate, subscribe, and of course you can follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi, and please also join me on Tumblr at Jedi Reviewer. Until next time, take care and have a good one. And of course, please join me for my other reviews. I'm going to be reviewing all of the CW superhero shows. Actually, right after this, I'm going to go and do my Flash review. I need to sit down and watch Supergirl again. This I kind of forgot that a little bit that this was this week that everything was returning, and again, I've been having a little bit of a vacation, so I've had other things on my mind. But yeah, we're back up and running, and I will probably be posting a channel update video soon to just sort of bring everybody up to speed on how things are going to go around here. Okay, so until next time, take care and have a good one.